Chunking.
Do it. Come on. Do it.
Nah, I'm not talking about the truffle shuffle. Coming right up. Chunking. Hey everybody, Chris G here. Thank you so much for tuning in and for your continued watching habits. 2,849 subscribers. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. Hey, check it. New tees. If you want a fresh new tee, check the link below. There's a bunch of different styles I designed. So hope you enjoy them. Maybe grab one for a friend. Thanks for the support. So let's jump into it. In this Learning from Legends, we're going to use Charlie Parker's tune, Donna Lee. We're going to use it to go over a memorization technique called chunking. Chunking! Here's a quick explanation of what chunking is from a channel right here on YouTube called Sprouts.
081127882 is a hard number to remember. If you chunk the number into 081127882, it's easier. Cutting large bits of information into smaller pieces helps us to understand. If we put small pieces back together, we can see the big picture, and that helps us to remember. The process is called chunking.
Now that we know what chunking is, how do we relate it to music? Today I'm going to show you how chunking is going to help you memorize, recall, and transpose things much easier and faster. We will be using this line from Donna Lee. It happens in the 5th bar starting on the and of 1. So many of you might be thinking, Donna Lee, such a hard tune, so many notes, so much bebop, scared, right? It's overwhelming, right? There is a lot of notes. It is a fast tune. It's an amazing melody that he wrote. You're going to see by the end of this video how chunking is going to make a melody like this that's really complex a lot easier to memorize and a lot easier to play. Let's listen to that line one more time. Alright, let's chunk this line. I bet you didn't think you'd hear that today. So I wrote the line in C because I felt like it might be easier to visually process, but the original key is A flat concert. Alright, the first part of this line that we will chunk is this. I call it the Dexter chunk because it reminds me of Dexter Gordon. This is a minor arpeggio going up to the 11th, starting with a leading tone. Here it is again. Now, if this isn't a familiar sound to you, that's okay. You can play it and sing it slowly, and you'll pick it up really quickly. And you might even start hearing it in different solos that you're listening to, because it is a common thing being played in that hard bop, bebop era, still being played today. I mean, it's a classic sound. This next section I call the major minor chunk. It goes from a major 7th arpeggio or a major 7th sound to a minor 7th sound, right? One after another. After the Dexter chunk, we resolve what's going to be the root of the major 7th. So we're going to go root, then we're going to pivot down to the 3, play the 5, and then the 7. And then next is the minor sound. Then that 7, the major 7, just resolves down a half a step to the minor 7, then goes flat 3, 2, 1. So instead of thinking about all those notes I just said, you're just going to think major, minor, chunk. Let me play you a bunch of examples showing you how easy this can be by playing major then minor versus a bunch of notes and having to transpose and do all this stuff. Check it out. So I call this last chunk the Bird chunk. And the reason being is because Bird plays this line a lot throughout his compositions and throughout his improvisation. It's just a 3, 5, 7, 9 to 1 resolution. He's able to manipulate it in so many different ways and makes it sound so hip. It just really reminds me of Bird. Next time you're listening to Bird, listen for this. I bet you'll hear it all over the place. So now we're putting it all together. So instead of thinking about a bunch of notes, I'm thinking 3 chunks. I'm thinking Dexter chunk, major minor chunk, Bird chunk. See how easy we just simplified that line? Instead of about 20 notes, now we're thinking in 3 chunks. 3 easily digestible chunks that you can remember in any key if you just think in those terms. So this is only one example of how to chunk music. I just wanted to show you the technique so you can build off of it and use it in your current material. Now, you may chunk things differently than me because they're relevant to you. I did what I did in this video because that's how it is relevant to me. You may think of a line and think of, oh, that sounds like Mario Kart.
Oh God, I can't see anything. Ah.
Boom, it's your Mario Kart chunk. Or that sounds like the lick. That's the lick chunk, all right? The lick chunk, you might want to come up with a different name for that one, but you get it. So what we're doing is we're taking all these individual notes, and instead of thinking of each individual note by itself, you're thinking of one big chunk. So that takes up a lot less brain power when you're trying to recall it and replay it. I know in the past I've done color tone breakdowns where I'm talking about each individual note and maybe the color that it's portraying over a certain chord, but I do a lot of reading and I love learning. So when I come across something that can change the way that I'm playing or the way that I'm learning and processing things, I'm going to share it. The whole goal of this channel is to help you grow as a musician, help you learn how to practice and play more efficiently and effectively to save you time and reach your goals, and also have fun while you're doing it. This process of chunking is going to allow you to memorize and recall things faster, is also going to help you transpose to different keys much easier. Easier than you probably ever thought was imaginable. So like I said before, when I learn new things, I'm going to teach them to you, and I'm going to implement this in my videos going forward wherever it's relevant. And I really highly suggest you adding this to your current material to see what kind of ideas you can come up with. You might be surprised how much easier something becomes when you start thinking of it a little bit differently than what you've been thinking. So that's it from this Learning from Legends. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you, Bird, for writing awesome tunes. Just remember, always positive, always progressing. Later.